I remember one day because the thing of being dependent on something, is kind of dangerous in a way. I remember I went to visit my older sister for Christmas and something like that. It happened some years ago. And she asked me to make a list of what we were supposed to buy the for the Christmas Eve, something like that, for cooking stuff like that. So as I was making the list, I finished the list, and she gave me approximately the price of the items and the food and all this we were making. So the thing is, at some point she said, "Okay, I think we can have a total of what we need to have as money. Can you give me the total? Just do the calculation, please." And instinctively, what I did is I took my cell phone, I looked for the calculator, and she stopped me there. She told me, "No, I want you to use your brain and do it if you're on your own. You need to make your brain work. It's a muscle. You need to always function on your own. So don't be dependent on that because someday you can be in a situation where you won't have it with you." So it marked me a lot. So I do the basic calculation that you learn at school. You do it on your own and add the total. Back in the days, we didn't depend on, even if we had calculator, but you knew that you had to do it on your own. And I saw a documentary, a 3 documentary, and it was interesting. I think it was about, if I'm not wrong, people living in California in high class society, people have a lot of money. Children of these people in Silicon Valley or something like that, who are making tablets and all this today, their own children, they use basic, the thing that they don't use tablet in their school. Do you understand that? Their own children do not use tablet like our children. They do everything. Their parents are the one who create stuff like that, but they don't want their children to use it. So what does that mean? That human being must still function in a way. And it more me a lot. And I include myself because now we are dependent. I saw a difference on the way I'm writing. When I talk about writing, it's the calligraphy. When you go to school, okay, when you go to school, usually we learn how to write the calligraphy. And since I use a lot of computer, laptop, and computer and such, my calligraphy has completely changed. It's not nice anymore. I write not in a nice way because before, when you used to have pen pal, people with who you write and such, you really make time to write beautiful letters with but now I cannot write like that. I don't even like to write anymore with my finger because I'm dependent on of computers. I like to type now. I don't know. It's a lot going. I think technology is good. The advancement of technology is good, but there is also some drawbacks in it. And more and more you see kids more and more into tablet and playing. When before, when we were young, we were used to go to read, okay, reading. And if you talk now with young people today, people students in high school, you have less and less people interested in. I like my niece because my niece, my cousin, she was a teacher. Now she's no longer a teacher. She worked for the education ministry. But her daughter, I like to discuss with her a lot. I had interesting conversation with her. She's in high school. I feel like talking with an adult sometimes, and I like it. We talk about the situation of the royal family in England. We talk about situation of society. We talk about, it's just interesting to talk with this girl. When we talk together, we try to exchange. and I give her advice about what I feel, okay? And less and less, I'm telling you, because I found out her mother told me that she didn't have access to phone before. I mean, her mom did everything that she didn't have cell phone on purpose. So when other kids were in high school with cell phone, she didn't have cell phone. Her mom told me, I don't give her cell phone until she had a certain level in high school. I was like, what? She told me no. So she told me I do everything that she can read first, but she doesn't need a cell phone. I'm telling you, it's a lot of work to be a parent, especially when you really focus on education. It's just a lot of work. It's not easy. And I remember that yes, we didn't die without cell phone before. I mean, I was waiting a lot, and you could come and have conversation with people, even they're older than you, but you have basic conversation. You know, you're not lost. When you talk about a little bit of politics, what happened in Africa in general, you can know. For example, at the time when we were young, you heard about what happened in Zimbabwe, why, for example, Robert Mugabe became president. You understand the reason. And then you saw many things. I remember, for instance, that I fell into an article because when you read so much all the time. An article about the war in Zimbabwe. I think it was in Zimbabwe. There was a war there after I think when Robert Mugabe wanted to take the back the land for the people, which was originally a good idea, but it didn't turn out to be good because the people no. And then I read an article. I don't know if it was in Zimbabwe, and there was a journalist, the independent journalists who actually go around the world and such and such. If you know this book, please, or if you have this article, please, can you, if you know, put a comment under because I would like to read the complete book. He was talking about a scene that he saw. He went to a village that was devastated by the war. He found a woman with open eyes. I think she was sitting or she was half sitting and her eye was widely open as if she saw something so horrible. This is the situation of the war. War is horrible. You don't want your country to go at war. You don't want countries to go at war. And he couldn't tell if she was alive or if she was dead because she didn't move, but her eyes was wide open. Well, I think in the article, I think she was probably dead, but when she died, her eyes stayed open because she saw something horrific happening in front of her. War in Africa usually are horrible. People take machetes. You heard about the war in Rwanda, the genocide of Rwanda. So you learn about all this. You are more aware of situation in the world, and you don't know if many young people in high school can even tell you books of George Orwell, for example. Just an example. Me, I've read some African authors, and I also read some French authors. I didn't read a lot American authors because when I want to learn American literature, when I went to America to study, I had a very bad teacher. By the way, you can happen to find a bad professor or bad teacher who makes you hate the class. It just depends on who you have in front. You have, for example, you don't like a class or you don't like a subject, but that teacher or that professor can make you like it or they make you hate it. It depends on, you know. So you don't know. When I went back home recently, I worked with one of my nephew, and I saw there was so much lacking in the because I tried to help him. There was so much lacking, and I saw he was always playing like video games, PlayStation and stuff like that. Back in the days, we didn't need it. We were living, we are interacting with each other as young people, as young kids in the neighborhood. That's what people used to do before. And there was nothing wrong. people are less inclined to be social being. People are stuck in the world of online and stuff like that. But I remember when we were young, I mean, I was the only girl. I mean, at the time when my sister was gone abroad, I was still with my brother, so I was usually with boys. My brother, they had friends. They were talking about sports. They had magazines of sports, magazines of basketball, magazines of soccer. That's how I knew about soccer a lot. That's how I knew a little bit about basketball. At the time, it was Michael Jordan was the star. No, it was the star at the time. But there were other basketball players like Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, Magic Johnson. We knew the name already. I was very young, but I knew them because I have brothers. They were always talking about basketball, and they have friends. We were interacting. We also had when we were in primary school, we had the comics of Marvel. People were exchanging classroom. Oh God, you have the new episode, you have the new issue. We were exchanging the comics of Marvel. Okay, for the girls, sometimes you have magazine, but I see that it's getting. I don't know what kind of world we are building, but I hope to do my part. But it's not easy. Thank you for watching.